We are eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you, because if it matters to you, it matters to all that is. Your life has caused you to focus, and that's really what we're going to be talking about here today, isn't it? Focus. It's all about focus. It's all about what you are giving your attention to and what you are giving your attention to in vibrational relationship to how the source within you feels as the source within you gives its attention to what you're giving your attention to. What you're giving your attention to. We're glad you liked that. We like it too, because the source within you is giving its attention to what you are giving your attention to, but may have a different frequency or a different opinion about it. In other words, the source within you loves everyone you hate. We know it's annoying. Esther spends a little bit of time trying to convince us that we're wrong from time to time. Really, you may not know all of the details. But the source within you is aware of what you're aware of and has a frequency that is being offered, and we want you to know it's the dominant frequency. It's the frequency that will survive your physical death. Didn't mean to bring that up, but it will. It will survive. That leading edge part of you will survive when you reemerge into non-physical. And so we just want you to know that you can have your blending with that right here, right now, on the subjects, in the conversations, in the moments that are most important to you, right here, right now. That's what you really want. You said, I'll go forth into a physical environment and I will explore it to my fullest capacity. That's what you said. We told you we would remind you. It's annoying now, we know. I will explore it to my fullest capacity, and in doing so, I will become aware of what could be better about that specific thing in this specific instance. And when that awareness of what I don't want is vivid within me, I know, you said, because you knew, that in knowing what I don't want, that a clear awareness of what is wanted would be born at the same time. And isn't that always the way that it is? Don't you always know more clearly what you do want when you're right smack dab in the middle of what you don't want? Isn't that when it becomes clear? Now you don't do, we love you very much. You know there's something coming after those words. We love you very much. You don't do a very good job of being a vibrational match to what you do want when you're just experiencing what you don't want, because what you don't want has your, in many cases, full attention. Your physical, human, undivided attention. And often, in speaking about what you want, even though you're using positive sounding words and maybe even smiling as you say them, as you're talking about what you want, often the reason that you want it is because you don't like not having it. And so your words, but more important, your vibration is all laced with the absence of what you want. And you just can't allow what you want into your experience when you are vividly active in the vibration of what you don't want. It just doesn't work that way. And you can't speak enough words or pull enough strings or influence enough people through your pulling of strings and offering of words to buck your own current. And it is your own current that we're talking about here. The current between you and you. The vibrational alignment or resistance between who you really are and who you're letting yourself be right here, right now, in this moment of the emotion. So, in wanting you to understand this, we began by saying, you know, you are more than you see, and many of you said, okay. And then we said, and you create your own reality. Seth coined those words, and many of you said, yes. And then you said, yes. We create our own reality? That seems like responsibility. And I'm certain that I wouldn't create this reality, this specific thing, because I don't want it. Why would I create something unwanted? And we say, we didn't say that you create it on purpose. We said you create it. You create it by your attention, by your focus, by your vibrational stance, by your point of attraction. Because whatever you're giving your attention to has a vibrational frequency. And as you focus upon it, you offer that frequency. You become that frequency. It becomes your point of attraction. And law of attraction answers your point of attraction with other things like it. So when you're knowing what you don't want, law of attraction is saying, well, you might not like this too, here. Oh, you might not like this either, here. How's it going? Want some more? How about this? How about this? Now, the wonderful thing about that is, in knowing what you don't want, you're launching these rockets of what you do want. But the question that we want to put to you is, how long will it be once you've launched that rocket of desire before you become aware that you're not lined up with it and you make some effort to become a vibrational match to it? And that really is what the art of allowing is all about. It's about you allowing yourself to be a vibrational match, not just to what you want, but that's a big thing, but to who you have become as a result of wanting it. You're intense, which means you have strong wanting. You're patient, which means you're willing to listen to the long version. You're intuitive, which is what brought you to this gathering today. You're aware. That's why you felt energy moving through you in stronger ways. You're queued up for self-realization that when others watch it happen will be pleasing to you, maybe not to them, but will be pleasing to you for this reason. We've been talking about energy. We've been talking about source. We've been talking about God. We've been talking about emotions. We've been talking about energy. We've been talking about flow. We've been talking about stifling and blocking. We've been talking about flow. But now we want to talk about cars. We want to talk about houses. We want to talk about lovers. We want to talk about mathematical equations. We want to talk about science. We want to talk about invention. We want to talk about creation. We want to talk about musical projects. We want to talk about books that you are writing. We want to talk about children that you are playing with and that you are raising. We want to talk about relationships that you are forming. We want to talk about the beautiful things in the world that you are attracting to you. We want to talk about the things of this earth that you are focused upon. And we want you to find a way of integrating this vibrational, law-based, universal knowledge, of integrating it into the details of the things that are important to you. We want to talk about your influence in your team winning. We want to talk about your reveling in the choir that the kids at your school are singing. We want to talk about the joyful things that your world is about. We don't want to distract you from the details of this physical life. We don't want to distract you from the food that you are eating or from your bodies that you are molding into the look and feel that you want. We don't want to distract you from anything that is of a physical nature. We just want you to look at the things that you are desiring and that are around you that are of a physical nature through the eyes of vibration, through the eyes of emotion, through the eyes of empowerment, from the eyes of assistance. We want you to allow yourself to integrate the broader perspective of Source into the details of your life. We want to say to you that when you are involved in the details of your life, and this is what you're bringing to this conversation, yes. When you are involved in the details of your life, and you are not conscious in the moment of your alignment, that's where overwhelmment comes from. When you are involved in the details of your life and you are in conscious concert with alignment, that's when your ecstasy comes. That's when your passion comes. That's when your thrill comes. Those are those high points that you keep wanting to bounce to another and to another and to another. In other words, there is no aspect of your life that will not be immediately enhanced by your conscious awareness of these things that we've talked about here today. So yes, you are physical and you are beautiful. And your homes are magnificent and becoming more so. And your inventions are becoming more, and your life is becoming more delicious. And your ability to interact and interface with one another is becoming smoother and more as you want it to be every single day. But if you extract from the equation of the life that you're wanting to live, the vibrational basis of it, then you have no power or control. And when you reinsert it into the conversation, and you are mindful of the way you feel, and you are directing your thoughts energetically, not just subject by subject, but feeling by feeling. Now you've got control of your life experience, and you will shine a light all around you that others will flock to, asking you continually, what is it that you know that I don't know? And your answer will be general. You will say, I've discovered that life is supposed to be fun, and that it can be if I will allow it. I've discovered that all people are good, and the best of them will come to me if I will allow it. I've discovered that there's nothing that is big enough that deserves my attention at pushing against, and that every time I let something be big enough that I push against, I slow myself down, I shoot myself in the foot, I diminish my joy, and I waste my moment in time. And if they ask further, if they say, well, how is it that you know these things? Say to them, it came natural to me. Once I got a glimpse of it, I remembered that I knew it when I was born. It's a dream that I believe that I knew. I think it is the reason that I came forth. I do not believe that I came forth to struggle or to suffer. I believe that I came forth to revel in the living of life. I believe that I've been given the free will to make my choices about life. I believe that I'm backed up by a source so powerful and so loving that I cannot even find the words to describe it. And I believe that the presence of that is with me in every moment that I allow it. And somehow I keep figuring out how to allow it a little now, and how to allow it a little now, and how to allow it a little now. And if they're still listening, and some of them will be, they may say, and how is it that you've discovered? What is it that you do? How do you allow this thing that feels so good to you? How do you allow it when your children are fighting or when someone is suffering? How do you allow it then? And you say, I can't allow it then. My attention to that deprives me of my ability to allow it. So I had to learn how to focus. And I practiced by looking at the best of life until I practiced the vibration of that. And then their logic will bring them to this. They will say, well, how is it that you dare to turn your eyes away from those who need you most? And then you give them the answer that they all are looking for, but that few are ready to hear right here and now in the midst of their trouble. You say, I turn the other cheek, because in turning it away from what troubles me, in turning it away from the problem, I turn it toward the solution. I've tuned myself to the solutions of life. I've tuned myself to the frequency that provides me with the solutions. So while I welcome problems because solutions are so fun to find, I stopped wallowing in the problem. We have enjoyed this interaction more than these words can explain to you. But we've been zapping you with the sonar of a dolphin all day today. It is our knowing that you have moved to a different vibrational place than you have been before. We want to say to you that we make too much of all of this, that if you would just find a reason to be playful and play, we encourage you, get together with your funnest of friends and spend time with them. We encourage you, go to your favorite places and focus upon them. We encourage you, get out the music that sounds the best to you and play it frequently. We encourage you, do those things that feel the best. Let those be the priority that are on your to-do today list. Put the things that don't feel good on someone else's list. Put the things that don't feel good on the list that says, maybe someday, but not today. Put them on the list that says, maybe someone else is ready to do this, but I've moved beyond it. I am a seeker of joy. Today, no matter where I go, no matter what I'm doing, and no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for what I'm wanting to find, to look for those things that feel the best. Our appreciation for you could not be greater, and our anticipation of that which is to come is very specifically focused for each of you who have participated here today. Feel for us, because we're right there reveling in your discovery of the well-being that you are so deserving of and temporarily depriving of. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain